The research study that measured what we dream in grams. The ad said $1,200 for 3 nights. All I had to do was sleep. I should have known better. Nothing pays that well for doing nothing. But my car had died 2 weeks earlier, and my landlord had started leaving notes under my door instead of texting, which meant I was running out of grace period. $1,200 would buy me another month of pretending I had my life together. The institute was in a part of town I didn't know existed. Old industrial buildings that had been converted into something trying very hard to look scientific. All glass and steel frames wrapped around brick that remembered factories. The reception area smelled like new carpet and something underneath it that new carpet couldn't quite cover. The woman at the desk didn't look up when I entered. She slid a clipboard toward me with forms already attached. Standard liability stuff. I skimmed it. The words minimal risk and non-invasive appeared enough times to feel like reassurance. You'll be in Runk. Carver will do your intake. Dr. Carver turned out to be younger than I expected. Maybe 30. He had the kind of face that made you want to trust him, which should have been my second warning. He walked me down a hallway lined with doors that all had small windows, but the glass was frosted. I couldn't see into any of them. The study is simple, he explained. We're measuring sleep architecture. Brainwaves, REM cycles, that sort of thing. You'll wear a cap with Ensud. Most people forget it's even there. Most people's, it's your adrets from traits. A bed with white sheets, a chair, a small bathroom. One window, but it faced a brick wall 3 feet away. The sensors and equipment were tucked into a corner, trying not to seem intrusive. We'll get you set up around 9, Dr. Carver said. The important thing is that you sleep naturally. Don't fight it. Don't try to stay awake. Just let yourself drift. He left me alone after that. I sat on the bed and wondered what I'd do with $1,200. Pay rent, obviously. But after that, maybe I could fix my car. Or lightly, but a different person came in at 9. She didn't introduce herself. She fitted the cap on my head, adjusting sensors against my scalp with cold gel. The cap connected to a machine by the bed through a bundle of wires. I felt like a puppet. Try to sleep on your back if you can, she said. It keeps the readings cleaner. Then she turned off the lights and left. I lay there in the dark, feeling the sensors pressing against my skull. The room wasn't quite silent. I could hear a hum from somewhere. The mtsiv or belp the keep the culp their mice. That sound old buildings make when they're trying to stay warm. I didn't think I'd be able to sleep, but I did. I woke up once during the night. The room was darker than it should have been, like the darkness had weight. I could hear something beyond the hum, a rhythmic sound. Almost like breathing, but not quite. I tried to turn my head to see the machine, but the wires caught, and I remembered I was supposed to stay on my back. The sound stopped. I went back to sleep. In the morning, Dr. Carver seemed pleased. He checked the read each I for. The woman who'd fitted my cap came in and removed it carefully, wiping away the gel. How do you feel? Dr. Carver asked. Fine, I said. Tired, maybe, but fine. That's normal. The first night is always an adjustment. Tonight should be easier. They left me alone for most of the day. I wasn't supposed to leave the building. There was a common area with coffee and magazines from 2 years ago. I was the only one there. I'd assumed there would be other participants, but the building felt empty. Just me and the staff I occasionally claimlets through, right? That afternoon, I walked down the hallway, looking for a bathroom I'd seen earlier. I passed the frosted windows on the other room doors. Most were dark inside, but one, room 7, had light behind the glass. I stopped and leaned closer. I couldn't see clearly through the frosted glass, but I could make out shapes. A bed. A person in it, lying very still. And next to the bed, something else. Something on a table that caught the light. It looked like a jar filled with something dark. The woman who'd fitted my cap walked past without looking at me. I went back to my room and tried to read a magazine about home renovation from 2024. The second night, they fitted the cap again. Same routine, same instructions. Dr. Carver seemed distracted this time, like he was thinking about something else while talking to me. Remember, he said at the door, just let yourself sleep. Don't fight it. I didn't fight it. But this time, when I woke in the middle of the night, I heard voices. They were coming from somewhere. I couldn't make out words, just the low murmur of conversation. 2 people, possibly 3. and underneath it, that breathing sound again. Rhythmic. Patient. I heard footsteps in the hallway. They stopped outside my door. I held my breath, waiting for the door to open, but it didn't. The footsteps moved on. I heard another door open. Room 5, probably. The room next to mine. The voices got clearer. I could almost make out words. Something about Wirt. At cat and mouse. Carver, I thought. Mark it down. I lay very still, barely breathing. The sensors pressed against my skull. The wires connected me to the machine. I wondered what it was really measuring. The voices faded. The footsteps retreated. The footsteps retreated. I didn't sleep again that night, but I kept my eyes closed and my breathing even. I didn't want them to know I was awake. In the morning, Dr. Carver looked tired. He checked the machine and frowned slightly. "You were restless last night," he said. Was I? Then I thought about the jar in room 7 and the number someone had said in the hallway. 4.3. 4.3 what? I slept fine, I said. He studied me for a moment, then nodded. Good, one more night, then you're done? I spent the day in the common area again, drinking coffee I didn't want and pretending to read. I thought about leaving, just walking out and forgetting the money, but I needed it too badly. And part of me wanted to know what they were really doing. That evening, I did something stupid. When the mo late. When the night that hate, what other participants, she said, not looking at me. In the other rooms, I saw someone in room 7. Her hands paused on the sensors. Just for a second, then she continued adjusting them. There's no one in room 7, she said. You're our only participant this week. She left before I could ask anything else. I lay in the dark and tried to make sense of it. If I was the only participant, who had I seen in room 7? And what were the voices talking about in the hallway? I waited until I heard footsteps. The same patter of the night board dive. Heard the door open. Heard the voices. I made a decision. I sat up carefully, trying not to let the wires pull. I got out of bed and moved to my door. It wasn't locked. I opened it a crack. The hallway was dimly lit. I could see the door to room 5 standing open. Inside, Dr. Carver and the woman stood next to a bed. There was someone in the bed wearing the sensor cap, but they weren't moving. Not at all. On the table next to the bed, I saw the jar. It was filled with something that looked smuck, but tark. And as I watched, the woman picked up the jar and held it up to the light. She tilted it slightly, measuring. 5.1, she said. Dr. Carver wrote something down. Better. That's better. Then the woman turned and looked directly at my door. I pulled back, but I wasn't fast enough. She smiled. I closed my door and got back into bed. My hands were shaking. I lay there listening to my own heartbeat, feeling the sensors against my skull and wondering what they were really measuring. What they were, like that. I kept my eyes closed and my breathing steady, but I was awake. I felt the weight of the sensors, the pull of the wires, and I wondered if they could tell the difference. In the morning, Dr. Carver seemed disappointed. Nothing, he muttered, looking up the readings. 3 nights and nothing. The woman removed my cap. Her touch was rougher than before. Some people don't produce enough, she said to Dr. Carver, not to me. It happens. Waste of time, he replied. They paid me in cash. $1,200 exactly at task that Burke. Thank you for your participation, he said, the words automatic. I left quickly, walking down the hallway past all those frosted windows. Past room 7, where I still couldn't see clearly inside, but I knew what was there. The bed, the person who wasn't moving. The jar on the table, measuring something we weren't supposed to give away. I got 3 blocks away before I let myself stop and breathe. The money felt heavy in my own apartment. I slept for 12 hours straight. When I woke up, I felt lighter than in months. Like something had been taken out of me after all, and I just hadn't noticed until it was gone. I still don't dream anymore. Or if I do, I don't remember them. There's just darkness and then morning with nothing in between. Most people would probably be grateful. But sometimes, late at night, I wonder where they go. All those dreams they collected, all those jars lined up somewhere, filled with smoke that moves like it's alive. I wonder if they're labeled. If mine is there somewhere, marked with my name, Amberg. Drop your verdict in the comments. Wait, what?